Buzz, 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 fellow jackets, and welcome back to the Yellowjackets Hive. I'm your host, Emily, and for this episode, I'm doing things a little differently. This compact theory video is something that I'm testing out. Yellowjackets has presented us with a myriad of questions from the beginning of the series until now. One of the most pressing and probably the very first question that we all had is, who the heck is Pit Girl? I'm not sure about you, but the opening sequence of the show is what sold me hook, line, and sinker. Ever since then, I have been dying to know the identity of the mystery girl we saw tragically fall to her death and get impaled by a bunch of spikes. Gnarly, right? We knew right then and there that Yellow Jackets was not your average run of the mill show. We were in for a wild ride from the very first scene. And with the introduction of some fresh new faces thrown into the mix in the last episode, that adds a suspect to the list as to who the legendary pit girl could be. So I figured we could run down the list of possibilities while we wait for answers. And the first possibility would be Hannah. In episode 7 of season 3, we are introduced to a group of frog scientists, one by the name of Hannah. And as soon as I saw the scene where Hannah's hair got stuck on a tree branch and Shauna then pocketed the hair as a trophy, my suspicions were immediately heightened. The sequence 100% made me think that this is where the idea to adorn the Antler Queen's robe with hair came from, which also makes me think that it's Shauna we will see underneath that veil in the Cannibal Council scene from the pilot. Could this new blood, aka Hannah, be our pit girl? It would explain why Pit Girl ran literally straight into the pit, like she didn't even know it was there. And how would Hannah have had any idea that it was there, like, or that there was a pit to begin with in the first place? We know Hannah does not make it out of the wilderness, so her being Pit Girl kind of makes sense. A lot of people think that Pit Girl being someone other than a yellow jacket would cheapen the effect a little bit, and I kind of have to agree with them. Either way, I've got a feeling that Hannah's eventual death will not be pleasant and will more than likely come at the hands of Shauna, given she's the current leader and super hungry for bloodshed. The second possibility would be Jen. Jen has been a character we've known since the beginning of the show, lurking in the shadows and the background. And Jen was played by Maya Lowe in the first 2 seasons, and the role was taken over by Vanessa Prasad in the third season. Jen has always been more of a minor character, with a few lines here and there. Although there is a sequence in season 2 where Coach Ben imagines her foaming at the mouth and attacking her, which is quite creepy. In this season, we see Jen has taken over the role of hunter for the group, so it seems as if she's gone up in status and rank among them. I always have personally felt like Pit Girl has to be one of the more prominent characters for the death to really be impactful. I would personally find it more impactful if Pit Girl was actually Hannah and not Jen, because Hannah is a symbol of home. Hannah brings with her the possibility of actual rescue. So, after months of hopelessness, I definitely think that Jen is a possibility. She fits the bill look wise for sure. But outside of that, I'm not so sure. The third possibility would be Mari. Now, I've always thought that Mari was Pit Girl pretty much from the very beginning of the show. But I began to have some doubts when Hannah was introduced and brought into the fold. There's plenty of evidence that points to Mari being Pit Girl. Mari kind of has been having somewhat of a comeback season this season. I will admit I've been somewhat of a Mari hater since season 1. I have very much viewed her as a bully who just puts others down to make herself feel better. But she's kind of redeemed herself somewhat this season. The amount of hysterical one-liners that she's had, and some of them just being so good, like "Go fuck your blood dirt, Lottie," and I walk back to civilization so I could fuck your dad, and I'm too sexy for this cave, too sexy to be murdered. There's the fact that we see Mari literally see her in the pit in the beginning of this season when she falls in and dislocates her knee. She also says, I'm just a decoy, which could actually be a decoy in itself, trying to throw us off the scent in a way. Out of all of these possibilities, I can see Shauna wanting Mari dead way more so than the others. She wouldn't be the least bit sad or remorseful if Mari was the one to fall into that pit. Now, I'm throwing this one in just because I feel like I need to. Callie. Like I said, I'm throwing this one in here so I can specifically stress that Callie is not Pit Girl. I don't know how many times I've seen this theorized and how many times I've explained to people that there's no way this will happen. The creators have stated numerous times that while they find this theory compelling and interesting, it's just not happening. Pit Girl 100% takes place in the teen timeline. There's no time travel element. This is not Lost or Dark. They're not throwing that at us. They may try to fool us by throwing in red herrings here and there, but they are not pulling the wool over our eyes with this one this time. So just throwing that into the mix, Callie is not Pit Girl, guys. Glad we got that settled. So, a lot of people have speculated since the episode titles have been released that the finale title, Full Circle, could hint at the fact that we may see that point in the story when we see Pit Girl actually fall into the pit. But we're currently in October as of the latest episode of season 3. That would mean a time jump again. We already saw a significant amount of time pass in episode 6. We jumped ahead a few weeks from summer into fall. Are they going to throw another time jump at us? Because we know that Pit Girl and the Cannibal Council scenes take place in the second winter they're out there. And we're almost to that time period of their time in the wilderness. I personally think that Pit Girl will be the first girl that they hunt once winter rolls around again, and possibly the only person that they hunt until they're rescued. I have a feeling that happens not long before the rescue takes place. I also think that in this instance, they won't have hunted her down because they were starving. I think this time the hunt will purely be sacrificial in nature, making it all the more sinister and something they would want to hide from everybody else. Who do you think Pit Girl is at this point in the story? Do you think that we will reach that moment before the end of season 3? I'm not sure about you, but I am chomping at the bit to find out. Well, guys, it's been fun, but with that, until I spill again.